So hello guys. So today we are here and today's segment that I'm going to do, I would like to talk about the turnpike and some of the things that it's going to affect once we decide to go ahead and put the turnpike in. And I also have my friend here today. I don't know if you guys remember the tree hugger lady. We were actually just discussing this on just things that the turnpike might impact or have an effect on. And one of her things was the rose rocks. And so we got to talking about that and what it does or what the rose rocks do for us or where it came from or what's going to happen when the turnpike is in place through Cleveland County. And so I hope you guys are having a good day today. Again, this is LA Raw with the Raw Talk. I just wanted you guys to have something to think about. I know a lot of people are talking about the turnpike, but are you guys even thinking about the other things that the turnpike is going to touch? Besides the fact that we're going to have the ability to go from one side of the map to another with tolls, we're also going to have other things that are going to happen, such as
the impact on the watershed that runs through that area, the impact on Cleveland County itself, and rose rocks. They're only found in one part of the world. This one's partially cleaned. They're formed naturally by Mother Earth. It takes millions of years for this to happen. It don't happen overnight. How it does happen is the water seeps through the sand and the silicone and the clay that's made up of the earth around Oklahoma. And that's how they're formed naturally. Now they start out like little globs of rock like this.
So we can get this a little bit closer. So it's just a little glob of like clay, really.
But it's a rock.
And it's a rock. It's formed in the water.
It's formed in the ground.
Or in the ground, in the dirt, sorry.
But you can here's one that's partially cleaned up. This is what it looks like. You can take a nylon brush and a little bit of water and just kind of clean it like this. And it gets all the dirt and stuff from out of the crevices to show you the rose rock that's formed. Now, this rose rock was formed exactly like this. It was not sheared off. It was not cut. It was formed like this. So only part of it formed. I personally cleaned it up and I put a coating on it to preserve the rock because of the silicone that's in it. You can see the glitters from the rocks in some of them. See how pretty of a rose that is?
Put it up into the camera. And so like if you see the ridges, looks just like a rose. I know a lot of people are like, who cares? Why do you care so much about rose rocks? And why do you want these things? Why do you even care about the extension of rose rocks?
Well, we care about it because it's a natural geological formation. It only happens in one place in the whole world, and that's Cleveland County, Oklahoma.
And it's so crazy.
And it's right through where they want to put this turnpike that nobody needs, nobody wants, more toll roads.
Who does it benefit? Does it benefit you?
No, it's not going to benefit me. It's going to make things harder for me. That toll road's going to block off a lot of stuff. You know how toll roads are. Miles and miles of nothing.
That's true.
And all they're doing is trying to rake more money from the taxpayers of Oklahoma who already pay tolls on roads that were supposed to have paid for themselves.
Really, let's really think about that. Do you really think that the taxpayers of Oklahoma are going to be the ones paying that toll?
Oh, yeah. They're going to have to use that road to get from point A to B. If you want to go from Oklahoma City, say, to Guthrie, Purcell, something like that, you can just pop through that toll road, go straight down, and cut out an hour, maybe hour and a half.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. But I had the same conversation with another lady, and I asked her the same question, and her answer was that she doesn't think that we're going to be the ones paying for the toll. She said,
right, either. There's supply They're part of the supply chain. They don't need to be paying tolls to get from point A to point B.
Well, they need a clearer path.
Yes, they need
and
a clearer path.
Her was that they'll be able to clear up the traffic from more I-35. They want to empty out the traffic and redirect it. Yeah, redirect it to around Noble. And so she was saying most of the truckers are going to be the ones paying the toll because they'll take their truck and take that route and go around to bypass the traffic that's in Moore.
And this is a lot of farmland. A lot of these lands have been in the same family for generations and generations. And the turnpike can just come right in and say, not your land no more. See ya. Time to go.
So this is going to have an impact on a lot of families that have been in the Noble Cleveland County area. And it's also
there are no good benefits to this. I see no good benefits when they can take the roads that are already available.
Well, I mean, let's be fair. The highways are congested.
Yes.
So the benefit is to decongest the highways. Because I mean, I know I get stuck in that traffic. Coming to Norman from the city.
I get that.
So I think the benefits would be to decongest the main highway, which is I-35, but at the same time tearing down all the things that we've had in place for years and years and years. I don't think it's healthy for our environment. I don't think it's
and to destroy a geological phenomenon is. Why would you do that?
Well, I've been asking that question for a long time. Ever since they got rid of the Rose Rock Museum, I was asking, why would you do that? Why would you get rid of the Rose Rock Museum that was in Noble?
Yeah, because that's where the claim is Noble, Oklahoma.
Well,
the Rose Rocks.
Why did they shut down the museum?
I really don't know. I'd have to investigate further into that to find out. I don't know if the families moved on or I don't know.
Yeah, I always wondered that because that was one of the first things that I learned about when I first came to Oklahoma. I do believe that
spot's still vacant though. Isn't that area still? Or is there something else there?
There's something else there.
Oh, so.
But yeah, I always wondered that about
why they would get rid of the museum. Yeah, and they have some big, beautiful ones. I mean, there's rose rocks that have been found here in Cleveland County as big as this chair. I mean, they're huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to see a few rose rocks in my lifetime here, but again, I just always wondered why they got rid of the museum because I learned about rose rocks later on just through accident, and then I believe it was you or your sister that took me down to Noble, and I saw the museum, and then I could go in there and actually ask them questions about these rose rocks, which is again something native to Oklahoma. So I think it's really important for Oklahoma history. Which is the reason why we're talking about it right now. And not just Oklahoma history, but it helps your geography, like your geology, your earth, your rivers and your water. I believe rock has something to do with your filtration in the water. So all of these things bring up questions on why did we do that? That was the question on why did we get rid of the Rose Rock Museum? If anybody knows the answer, feel free to put it in the comment.
Please.
And then also the turnpike, we were talking about it when we first started this segment. So the turnpike coming into place is doing a lot more than just creating a way from point A to point B. It's not all terrible, but there is a little bit of benefit, but
there's a lot of impact on the environment, more so in my opinion than anything else.
So you think there's a lot more damage being done than it will be good being done when the tolls
are... turnpike, yes. I think it'll do more damage than good to the environment.
I think a lot of people are feeling that way.
And we need to preserve, our natural sites and our natural geological areas. We need to keep those.
That makes me think about another thing that happened. I believe something else that happened is that we're losing a lot of property.
Yeah.
So that's going to have an impact on Oklahoma.
Is what it's called, intimate domain. So the federal government can come in and the state can come in and say, this is intimate domain. Like you're going down Highway 9. You know how you're going down Highway 9?
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing all that construction and they're widening the road to 4 lanes from 2 lanes.
Mm-hmm.
And those people's property that was there,
mm-hmm.
they lost so much of their property by the state for intimate domain to put that highway through
Like
there.
on purpose? Or
Yeah.
what do you mean? The government took it away?
They took it away.
Okay. See, I didn't know that the government was able to do that. Although I've heard something close to that. When Donald Trump was making the wall, I heard that he went down to the border and took the property that was on the border because it was government property at that time, since they had to build a border on. They had to build a wall on the border. They took the property that fell on the border. So, like, if I owned a house that was in the middle of the border, whatever property was on that border belonged to the United States because they had to build a wall there. And so, is that something similar?
You would think that they would build that wall inside our boundaries. You would think.
Well, you have to understand geology, or these people were there before.
I don't know that.
Yeah, these people were there before the border actually was created. I guess but yeah. So, but what I'm saying is, the government has the right to come and get that if they absolutely need it. So basically, it doesn't even matter if the situation's the same. If your property falls on something that they want or need,
like this turnpike.
Yeah, they'll come and get it.
That's right.
Finish your sentence.
Families that's been on the properties for generations, 4, 5, 6 generations, are going to lose their land.
Yeah, and so why does that matter?
It matters. That's their roots. That's everything that's what their blood, sweat, and tears for
their history.
Their history, and they're just wiping it away. Tough.
So that's our 2 cents on the turnpike,
which sucks. And there is a petition going around to be signed. If you're local, please sign that petition. And if you want more information on the Rose Rocks, there is a geologist at the University of Oklahoma. I'm not sure of her name. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But I'm not sure of her name. But she is kind of taking the front on this, on the Rose Rocks.
Is there another museum or another center or anything like that?
Not that I'm aware of.
I saw a sign on one of the buildings over there off of Boyd and Asp, or Boyd and Elm Street, I want to say. It's a big old house over there.
Down on campus.
Yeah, right on campus.
Oh, that's Jacobson House. That's the Kiowa Cultural Center.
Well, it says Rose Rocks now.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't been down there in a while, so how would I know?
I don't know what it is, though. I don't know if it's a Rose Rock Center or a Rose Rock Museum, but most definitely. Maybe we can update our viewers later on the next segment that we
definitely
do. We'll go do a segment on that and see what it is. Because I saw a little sign. I saw a little bit of it. I'm not sure if it's a museum or just an information center, but it did say something about Rose Rocks. But
that'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah, most definitely. Then maybe we could take a trip and film it the way we did Griffin Memorial. So.
Yeah, we need to definitely go back there.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that.
There's other buildings.
So, guys, if you guys picked up the newspaper this weekend on the Norman Transcript on Sunday, April 17th, there was
actually, the 19th, April 19th, at the Norman Public Library, there was a meeting on the Turnpike. Is that what you were talking about?
No, ma'am. I was talking about the newspaper, but thank you for sharing that. Go ahead and share that information.
That's all the information I got. It's over with now.
Well, on the 19th, there was a meeting in the library that had to do with the Turnpike. She attended. Go ahead and fill us in on that.
No, it was just, that's what I thought you were talking about.
But what happened at that meeting?
Nothing. The Turnpike's going to do what the Turnpike wants to do.
Well, what did they say?
Well, I didn't really pay 100% attention. I was doing other things. And
what did you get to hear?
I got to hear about how it's going to impact the watershed that's going through that area. And I only paid attention really to the parts that really were important to me at the time, which are the Rose Rocks and the watershed, because that watershed feeds Lake Thunderbird. And Lake Thunderbird is where Norman and surrounding areas get their drinking water from.
Why is that important?
Because if it contaminates that water, then we're all screwed.
And how could it contaminate the water?
There's multiple ways it could contaminate it.
Well, tell us some.
I don't know.
Okay.
By moving earth and opening up things that haven't been opened up for long times, maybe there's something deep in the ground that if it's brought to air, it's going to, I don't know, some creepy little blob or something. I don't know.
All right, guys. So I was trying to tell you about the newspaper, but she told you about the meeting that they had at the library. If you want a little bit more information, I'm sure you can Google stuff and look up the most recent articles that have been written on the Turnpike and on the Rose Rocks. I haven't really found anything that was written here recently about the Rose Rocks, but I did see some things in the newspaper. Like I was saying, on Sunday, April 17th, they had an article about the Turnpike, and then they had the meeting on the 19th, and so forth and so forth. So there is information out there, but the information that I'm reading is not specified. So on Sunday, the article that was printed did talk about some of the questions, but the answers to these questions, and I quote, are tailor made. So to me, that means that they are answering you based on your question, and they will try to suit the answer
To what?
to what your question is. So like I'm gonna make it suit your question or whatever.
To make them look better.
Yeah, so they can look better themselves, or so it can make a little bit more sense to you, or so that you can be at peace with your question, I guess, but it's not really a direct answer because they don't know the outcome of these things. They don't know the weather. They want your input. They want to know if it rains too much, if it floods, if this happens, if that happens. And if you ask me,
and they've done none of those studies as far as I know.
Yeah, so that's what I was getting ready to say. If you're responsible to create a transportation or any means of transportation, or I don't know, a road or anything like that, shouldn't you like do studies on that area and know if there's flooding and earthquakes or cracking or
water tables,
fire, or what she said, or anything like that? So definitely inform yourself, guys. If you're a Cleveland County resident, please inform yourself of what's going on in your area. You may want to be for the Turnpike, or you may not. I don't like turnpikes because why are we paying? And then sometimes we don't even use it. I've never really used a turnpike unless I go like to Dallas or something, and I don't even know if those are called turnpikes. But I pay a pass to get on those roads, and it's confusing. It makes it a lot more confusing as you're driving on them. So I'm not sure if it'll help us, but they're trying to decongest I-35. And I guess my question to you is it worth it? Is it worth losing your geological artifacts? Is it worth losing your geography, your landscaping? Is it worth it? Because most of Oklahoma was forest, was like, a lot of trees everywhere, a lot of empty land. And here lately, we've been seeing a lot of little tiny communities being built, little tiny suburbs being built everywhere. And so, yeah, we're getting much more population, but is it good for your environment? So that's the question I'm going to leave you with today. And also, I'm going to show you on that one Norman transcript, there was an article that says, what does it mean to be woke? So it's right here, guys. It's actually printed in a newspaper. What does it mean to be woke? Guys,
think about that. We'll talk about that next time.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that next time. But what I'm going to leave you with is this. What does it mean to be woke? I've heard this term since I was 16. I'm 40. If we're just now printing it in a newspaper, are you barely just not waking up? And why are you using this term?
Right.
Anyways, I'll tell you what it means next time, and we'll talk about it a little bit more on our next segment. Thanks for watching.
Peace.
Please subscribe. I'm trying to get 50 subscribers, guys. Like my videos. Don't like them if you don't want to, but please subscribe. I'm trying to get 50 subscribers so I can be able to stream my trip from Oklahoma to Dallas, and from Dallas to Los Angeles, and then from Los Angeles to Compton, California. So please, 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 please help me out with this. Subscribe. That's all I'm asking for. I need 50. I'm halfway there, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And thanks, Tree Hugger Lady, for joining us.
Plant a tree.
Plant a tree, guys. Save the environment.
Just one. That's all it takes.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, son.